Let's go to our main text, Ephesians 3:20. Third chapter of Ephesians, verse 20. It says, now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Now let me read you what the Amplified Bible says. It says, now to him who, by in consequence of the action of his power that is at work within us, is able to carry out his purpose and do super abundantly, far over and above all that we dare ask or think, beyond our highest prayers, desires, thoughts, hopes, or dreams. Now, Passion Translation says it like this. Never doubt God's mighty power to work in you and accomplish all this. He will achieve infinitely more than your greatest requests, more than your most unbelievable dream. He will exceed your wildest imagination. He will outdo them all, for his miraculous power constantly energizes you. Now, however you interpret any of that, and what I read, you cannot locate small, little, average, medium thinking in none of that. Hallelujah. So you can't locate any of it. Now, it's also important that you don't interpret this as just the ability of God, because we can get excited about God is able. I remember early on in my ministry, this is in the mid-'80s, and we'd have like a praise and prayer service on Friday nights. And I would lead that prayer and people get in line to pray. And with some of the folks, you know, I would say what the word said. If I say I'm healed, and some of them just couldn't say it. They'd be shouting, God is able. We know you're able. But you say, will he do it for you? See, his ability is not an automatic manifestation for you. So we've got to be careful, too, when we read this, that, you know, we're not just quick to say what God is able to do. But you see, because that means nothing if you don't believe it and receive it. That God is already at work within you. You see, this exceeding superabundance is God's will and his purpose for his people. It's his will and his purpose for this super exceeding abundance. Now, I just read in one of the translations, his purpose to do super abundantly, far over and above that we dare ask or think, beyond your highest thoughts. Beyond your highest thoughts. This is really saying you've got to go beyond your thoughts. Okay, let me prove what I'm saying. Let's go to Isaiah 55. 55th chapter of Isaiah. And I mentioned it earlier, but let's look at verse 7. Begin at verse 7. 55th chapter of Isaiah, verse 7 says, "Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon." And I said it earlier, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." And as I said, I mentioned earlier about the infinite distance between the way God thinks and the way man thinks. But if you notice in verse 7, it says, "Forsake your ways and thoughts, and return to the Lord." Now, I understand it's saying wicked and unrighteous, but we can take that. Forsake your ways and your thoughts. You don't have to turn to it, but remember, Proverbs 3 and 5 tells us to lean not unto our own understanding. That's command. Don't lean, don't depend on what you think. Oh my. So now, why do we have to forsake or let go of our thoughts and never depend or lean on our mindset? Because if you don't, you'll always clash and violate this Ephesians 3:20. See, if you don't forsake your thoughts, if you don't abandon your thinking, you're going to always violate this 3:20 with your small, limited thinking. Because the thoughts of men is small and limited. And if you don't forsake it, you violate Ephesians 3:20. Now, let's go back to Ephesians 3:20. And let me read you again out of the Passion Translation. When it says, "Never doubt God's mighty power to work in you and accomplish all this. He will achieve infinitely more than your greatest request, your most unbelievable dream, and exceed your wildest imagination. He will outdo them all, for his miraculous power constantly energizes you." He will outdo them all. He will outdo what? He will outdo your most wildest and unbelievable dreams you can imagine. Somebody missed it. God will outdo your most wildest and unbelievable dreams that you can imagine. See, this is why you got to